Hi, my name is Cynthia Olivos. It is February 3rd, 2024, and the title of my research essay is Racism Will Never End. And my abstract will be the following. My argument is going to be that discrimination and injustices against each other, regardless of what ethnicity or race we are, either in the United States or in the whole world. Racism has been going on forever. In my opinion, it will never end. I plan to prove the following points: that injustices and discriminatory against people of color and different ethnicities, such as whether you are Asian American, African American, Mexican American, or whether you are yellow, brown, or black, there are systems of judgment that categorize, and they are used up against us because of our color of skin rather than who we really are. My overall research will prove that racism will never end. It has been ongoing for many centuries, and it was used as a social construct. It was used as a way to categorize people in the form of economics, education, and political ways. My following conclusion will be that we do not see each other as equal. Therefore, there will always be an issue because we think that others are less than us, or vice versa. So, my introduction is starting off with: have you ever been told to go back from where you came from? To begin with, yes, I have been told by someone that doesn't deserve to be here because I have been in this country longer than them. Not only are they not contributing to society, but in my opinion, a lot of them do not deserve to look down on us. Yet they think they are better than us browns. I have been called a beaner, a wetback, or a chunti by someone that is not better than me in any way or form as a human being. In my point of view, racism will never end. One of my points that I like to bring up has started many years ago in Los Angeles by an individual by the name of Rodney King, of who he was an African American descent with a negative background that was abused by the system, and he took advantage of it just because he was a minority at the time and he could get away with it. Even though it is not justified for the abused, that does not make him a good person, and that doesn't justify for the abusement. He was an African American abused by 4 white male officers. The police officers, due to the race, their power, and their authority, were not penalized and were given a slap in the hand. They were also given a minor discipline at the time because they saw Rodney King, or the people saw Rodney King, as a criminal and deserved what he had coming. Once again, this proves my point of many years of racism and how it will never end. Even in the United States, that it is a land of the free, it is still used upon people of color against each other, and it is looked upon. Rodney King was a black Afro-American, an individual, and he had many flaws. but the system made him a millionaire because of his unjustified discriminatory. The Anglos, which were the white male officers that beat him, almost cost him his life because of the color of his skin and his ethnicity. The system let Mr. King down due to the fact of being an African American, a dark-skinned individual, or black per se. The white male officers, who were the white supremacists, thought that they were invisible. Therefore, they did not follow protocol. Unfortunately, or fortunately, they caught them. That is why African Americans took advantage of the system and they decided to fight, and they won. On my point of view, Mr. Rodney King was good for a while, and then he relapsed. Then he came back for his own self. That proves that even the system failed. He won a large sum of money. Some of us. The system failed. He won a large sum of money, but that just proves to us that some of us never change. Another point I'd like to bring up of the racism is also how the United States and the Super Bowl national anthem, and how it is used as a way to divide us instead of unite us. So during the Super Bowl, the national anthem is sung, the Star Spangled Banner. But recently, in the past few years, there's a new black national anthem being sung, which is called Lift Every Voice. It is a very meaningful song to the African Americans due to the fact that it makes them believe that they are more Americans than the Pilgrims, and that they are more Americans than the ones that were here before them. Not even do the American Indians claim a national anthem. That they also have, and it's more genuine than the African Americans. The United States NFL makes it very uncomfortable for other ethnicities because of being supportive to this second national black anthem that is being sung recently in the years, that is used just to keep the African Americans happy. And in my opinion, it is used only because they are good athletes, and it's a form of business and a form of keeping them happy. But what does that have to do with using a second national anthem when we are all in America and we all use the Star Spangled Banner as a way of being a proud American and being an American, being equal, regardless of if we come with blacks, Mexican, Asians, or regardless of what ethnicity. There's no need for us to just prioritize the black national anthem in a place that we are used as a way of celebrating as a civilization, coming together and celebrating and joining all Americans, and just prioritizing and making them feel that they deserve that, when there's other countries that can also be involved, and why feel that they are the ones that have to be involved and make them feel special, when the Star Spangled Banner is good enough for everybody that is an American. There's no need to feel segregated. There's no need to feel discrimination. There's no need to feel divided or disrespectful. In my opinion, there's another way of being disrespectful with the national anthem is when the players kneel down during the national anthem. Even though they are seeking a form of fighting for racism, or also like fighting for their country and for the ways that they have gone through, kneeling down during the national anthem, but yet this is a way of disrespect towards America. So why think that they are better than us if they call themselves Americans? Then why seek an additional anthem in which there's none? I believe that there's an additional anthem, and that's an argument that I will say that has been going on. And therefore, many African Americans went through slavery. Yes, I agree, and it was part of history, but they were not the only ones that suffered. Asian Americans suffered, Mexican Americans suffered, American Indians suffered, Koreans suffered, Arabs suffered. They all suffered. So why are they superior? Why are there a need for them to be the only ones that have a voice and that need to make themselves be known? So one thing that we failed to realize, as they were first negotiated by their own color, which when the Europeans colonized United States of America, they brought slaves from Africa, but yet we fail to understand that African Americans were sold within their own race before Europeans sold them. Before Europeans brought them to America, slaves were already here in America being sold by their own master, which were African Americans as well. So in the United States, after all this happened, United States was segregated. United States have had schools that were exclusively designed for whites and blacks and people of color, which were browns and Asian Americans. They were segregated and put up in different bathrooms, different classrooms. They were not allowed to use the same bathroom or same water fountains because they were looked down upon. So the whites were always taken more of the superior. And if it wasn't because of the brown versus the brown law, then therefore this segregation would still continue. But luckily there happened to be a point of view of somebody that spoke up and their voice was heard, and the segregation ended, and there was a point where we were united. But therefore, till this day, I will say that there's still some segregation because we still look upon each other, and there's still segregation with whites thinking that they're superior than any people of color, even till this day. And that's one point. Another point I would like to bring up was the fact that Cesar Chavez also was born in the United States but came from immigrant parents, was an activist that lived through the farm worker life and worked the land and went through the struggles of moving from place to place, trying to make ends meet and living the life of being brown, neglected and discriminated by other ethnicities, especially by the Anglos. Chavez and other Mexicans who worked long hours, and they were not only getting the less than minimum wage, they were also being slaved to their trade work, and they were not getting what they deserved because they were looked down upon and they were discriminated like slaves, even though slavery was over. So since we are talking about Cesar Chavez, these are the points that stands out. He was a believer for a better way of life for the working farmers, that they needed to get fairness and a better way of life, that they deserved better, and that they were not willing to accept the minimum wage, or that they were not willing to accept the discriminatory that they were looked upon any longer. And at this point, not only were they the Mexican Americans, but also the Filipinos gathered with them. The Filipino farm workers also went on strike for better wages, joining Cesar Chavez leadership. It was one of the biggest labor battles in the 1960s because Chavez went on it. Not only did Chavez believed and had strong beliefs, but he also was selfless, and he went on a 30-day fasting, not eating, in which he lost 30 pounds due to his strong beliefs and fighting for his beliefs. All he wanted was to make a point across, and he had someone also who was a female activist that joined him, which was Dolores Huerta, who was also advocating for other people that were treated unfair, but due to her being a female, she was not taken seriously at the time. Dolores Huerta was a Chicana activist. She fought for social justice and equality for her people and others. Unfortunately, being a woman back then was seen differently. The macho image was overwhelming to her being a woman. And the truth of all is that us, as people, we didn't want our women to succeed. Another point I'd like to bring across was our skin color overall. It has been used upon and against us. And skin color, whether you are white or whether you are black or yellow or brown, it's always used against you, maybe for better or for worse, but the darker you are, the worse, and the limit that you have is less achieving as those with lighter skin color. And skin color is often used as a way of judgment. Latinos and other ethnicities are judged and discriminated against if of darker skin. The darker you are, the less you get ahead in the United States. That is the truth of it all. And the lighter skin you are, the more you come through and get ahead. Discrimination against skin color is a very big deal in the United States. When using colorism is a form of discrimination based on skin color, favoring the lighter people. Due to being of darker skin, someone will criticize you for even speaking Spanish in public. Some also fear for their safety. But skin color affects life's opportunities in America. Skin color shapes their lives and experiences. So therefore, in my overall conclusion, it is never-ending issue that has to do with racism. To many ethnicities, to many religions, to many cultures, and among everything, to many brains and ideas and ways of thinking, and that is a fact. As a conclusion, how can we be fair to other races when we can't even tolerate our own races? Browns to browns, Chinese to Chinese, and etc. How can we cure prejudice when we cannot accomplish it among our own races? And for my citations, I have used, my citations has been Bustamante, Luis Noé Barrera, Ana Gonzalez, Edwards, Carilla, Mora, and Lopez Mark Juan. 2021, majority of Latinos say skin color impacts opportunity in America and shapes daily life, by Pew Research URL. Then my second one is Navarrete L. or Arboleda Angela, 2004 report, U.S. Criminal Justice System, Unfair, Unjust for Hispanics, msutoday.edu. Then my third research was used for Saldana Sean, October 17, 2022, The Complicated Legacy of Cesar Chavez. Then the fourth one was Jordan Schuyler Baker, 2023, The Conservative Outrage Over the Black National Anthem and Prejudice and Telling, used by the website Independent. And then the fifth one is When LA Erupted in Anger. So the fifth one is by Sastry Anjuli, K.R. Bichek, title When LA Erupted in Anger, a look back at the Rodney King riots, issued in 2017, and the website was npr.org. And this is, I hope I came across my points of racism and how racism will never end and how racism is still continues regardless of the time that we are in. That color of skin has always been a way of discrimination and continues to be. Thank you.